Hi everyone. So for this week's video discussion, I'm looking at a recent June 1st article from the Washington Post um, describing a national crisis declaration over gender-based violence over in Kenya. And the article is titled Protesters in Kenya Call for National Crisis Declaration. The article covers a massive wave of mobilization where hundreds of women and allies took to the streets of Kenya's capital, Nairobi. They are demanding that the government declare gender-based violence a national crisis and take immediate action in order to resolve this recurring issue. It isn't just a sudden reaction, but a coordinated pushback against systemic violence that has been occurring for a very long time, apparently. And this news story is just a textbook example of how collective action and social movements operate in the real world. In class, we learned that a social movement is a sustained, organized effort by a major group of people to achieve a common goal, often bypassing traditional political channels when they feel ignored. But to make this happen, organizers need to bypass a free ridership problem, because passing safer law benefits all women in Kenya, regardless of whoever risked their lives, safety, and health demonstrating in the streets. The movement relied on solidarity incentives, shared identity, and grassroots networking to get people to physically show up. They are using collective action to disrupt everyday life and force their agenda into the public consciousness. What's interesting is how we can see that there is a gap being bridged between social movements and interest groups or political parties. While political parties are primarily focused on winning elections and gaining institutional power, we can see that these activist groups function more like outsider interest groups. They don't have the backing of a major party platform yet, so they are using outsider strategies like public protest and media mobilization to pressure political parties and legislators to act. By framing this as a national crisis, they are attempting to shift the political landscape so that parties must adopt these protections into their platforms if they want to remain viable. So this perfectly mirrors our case study this week. It builds upon how marginalized groups form coalitions to spark political change, just like the groups in our case study. That we have learned, these activists in Kenya strive to build realization and awareness that singular isolated complaints do not change policy. It is the organized collective action of many individuals that does. It illustrates that whether you are looking at domestic policy or international human rights, social movements are the vital engine that forces political parties and formal institutions to change.